everybody, and welcome back to another episode of From BA to Broadway, your premier showbiz education podcast. You know who it is. It's me, Mr. Brennan Stefanik, your host, and I'm bringing you those general programming reminders. Folks, normally every Monday we have our main episode, and normally every Friday we have our mini-series In the Spotlight. However, this week, due to some technical and scheduling difficulties, we are lumping them all into one. So apologies for the delay, but this week you are getting an extra long In the Spotlight. I, of course, am not here alone. I am here with the one and only Mr. Daniel J. Solly. Danny, what is going on?
Telling me that I have the opportunity to do an extra long episode is dangerous work, my friend.
You know what? We're going to say the extra long episode. Your cap is 40 minutes, so that way we don't go past an hour. That way, realistically, we'll get to 59 minutes.
You know, you don't realize how big of a musical theater fag you are until it's the Tony Awards and so many people text you.
That's true.
Like, I'm not saying I'm like Mr. Popular. I'm saying on the day of the Tony Awards, people were like, oh, I know who to text about this.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is very telling.
100%. You really just throw out the F slur so soon into every episode. And the other day I was thinking, I was like, damn, you know what? If any parent is like, let's see if we can listen to this with our child, immediately they're like, nope. But maybe they're progressive. Who knows?
It's called reclamation.
That's
you can't
true.
say it, I can, all right?
That is true. Folks, today we are here, as we previously advertised, to talk about the 78th annual Antoinette, what's her last name, Perry?
Yeah.
Antoinette Perry Awards, a.k.a. the 2025 Tony Awards. Good presentation. It was a very good. I was going to say
also,
episode.
I want to say I was away for the Tony Awards, so we did not watch it together. So this is actually our first debrief about it.
Yes.
So you're not getting rehashed opinions, folks. These are in the moment.
100%.
Maybe we'll shock each other. Maybe we'll fight. I don't
really
know.
doubt it.
Probably not.
Category is weird performances. Trend of the night. Weird performances.
Weird. What do you mean?
Just weird choices of what to present at the Tony Awards.
Oh, yeah. I don't think any show did itself favors.
Yeah.
I think. Do I want to be on brand this early on the episode? I think that Audra McDonald gave one of the most incredible Tony performances we will ever
100%.
see. It's going up in the Hall of Fame of Tony performances, right up there with Jennifer Holliday and Sutton Foster. And
yeah.
I mean, Audra's already in their stratosphere, but I mean specifically for a 3-minute Tony performance.
100%.
She gave. I think that they gave her such an impossible task. That is such a weird song to cut, and they sped up the tempo, and they did weird. Every performance at the Tonys is always a little weird because it's a weird cut, it's a weird tempo because they're trying to fit a time slot. I think Audra, whether you loved her performance in the show as a whole or not, thought she deserved it or not, her performance that night was just
legendary.
Truly. Legendary. I would have paid so much money to be in that room.
Yeah.
Apparently, the second the song stops, you could hear a pin drop because it was and then her storm off with her jacket was just
that's
chef's kiss.
Theater. That's Broadway.
Notably, I think that I didn't like Nicole's performance. I want to say though.
Okay.
I loved Nicole in the show.
Yeah.
I'm not, this isn't me shitting on Nicole. I think Nicole is wonderful. I think I loved that. I saw the Sunset production twice. I think they should have done the other Norma song. I don't know. I don't feel like that performance encapsulated the show.
I agree. I did like the performance, but I think overall, in general, I think the Tony Awards can really be used as a way to advertise your show, especially
the whole point of the Tonys, baby.
Yeah, especially for the ones that aren't as well known or haven't been given as much love. This is your opportunity to say, "Hey, world, this is what the show is, and this is why you should come see it." And I think overall, a lot of the marks were missed on that. However, do think that some of the best performances of the night were given by Miss Cynthia Erivo, our host.
Oh, 100%. I guess to go back to the performances for a second, though.
Okay, yeah.
I think here's my issue
okay.
that I'm realizing right now. aside from Audra,
Yes.
I think I saw all the performances, and I saw most of the shows.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the shows that performed, and I was like, you're better in the show than you are in this performance.
Yes.
Like, I don't think I saw any performance at the Tony Awards
Mm-hmm.
where I was like, yes, this is
100%.
This is exemplary of what you're going to see when you go to the show.
Yes.
And I think it's probably a combination of a million things.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the shows this year are hard shows to pick a specific song. Like
Totally.
Operation Mincemeat. We know that was
Yeah.
one of my favorite shows from the season.
100%.
I can't defend that performance.
Yeah.
I just can't. It was the kind of show I was sitting in a room full of people who had never seen the show before.
Yes.
And I was like, egg on my face. I've been hyping up this show all season.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all like, what is this show about?
Yep.
What are they saying? And I think it's a really hard... I think that in particular is like a hard kind of a show to
Totally.
pull one number from. But I kept having to be like, no, guys, I swear it's really good. I swear it's so good. It's such a good show. Like, don't
In your
listen to
brain,
this.
what do you think they should have done? Because I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, they can't do the Nazi song. I think it would be epic, but they can't do the Nazi song.
I'm a huge medley fan,
I mean,
but I
yes.
also understand the logistics of like, okay, you want to do a medley instead of a song that's already in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to write the medley. Now we have to rehearse the medley. We're talking about like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars extra.
It's not like we didn't know the awards were happening, though. Write your medley. It's not
I
like
think
the
that
composers.
I think they should have done "Making a Man." They should have done a 4-minute cut of the song "Making a Man." I think that actually describes the plot of the show.
I agree.
I think they all get featured in like a nice individual way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a good like. This is a snapshot of the show.
Yep.
And I think the whole shtick of the show is that there's 4 people, five people like playing a million characters each.
Yes.
We didn't see any of that.
That's 100%
We didn't see
true.
any of the comedy. We didn't get any of the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was just a poor choice.
100%.
I thought that Megan Hilty was phenomenal in the Death
Do you
Becomes
have
Her
a
performance.
list of the performances?
Yeah, I do.
Why don't we go down the list?
And just rip them apart.
No. First one was, well, let's talk about our opening number.
You want to go in order? Well, I don't have the order.
That's fine.
So we've already talked about Audra. We've talked about Nicole. We've talked about Mincemeat.
In terms of Audra and Nicole, another thing that I will say is, while these things were happening, I was like, wow, for these 2 roles in particular, to be doing them at the Tony Awards is probably an incredible opportunity, just character-wise as well. Like, you are in the biggest arena, and for both of those kinds of characters, like, that is the dream. That is the dream, and if anything, I think it should aid to the performance, and I think that is one where that is a glaring example of where Audra succeeded over Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I think I would have preferred them to do Nicole's other song.
Yeah.
And I get where they couldn't, probably because for like logistical technology, but like you're telling me you couldn't have started the whole Tony podcast with like him walking on the street or something. We got
we should.
We got no Tom Francis on the street. That's the whole shtick of the whole freaking show.
It should have at least been a bit, even if it was Cynthia, even if it
No
was
bit.
part of the opening number where she's
That would have been a fun opening number. Yeah, no, I hear that. And I think, look, it's one performance. You get 3 minutes to sing one song for everyone in the world. I get it. It was a moment where I was like, she's better in the show than she's in this performance. Mincemeat. I was like, this show is so much better than this one performance.
Yeah.
I really liked The Death Becomes Her. I thought Megan was great. But I can't get over you have 2 leading actresses both nominated for Tony Awards from this show in a show where literally that is the one number.
The one single
that is not a duet.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's big and flashy. I really appreciate the fact that it's like Pride Month and it was a song about the gays and she wore like a trans flag as a costume like on stage on a telecast.
Sure.
I get all that, but I just can't get over it. I'm like, you couldn't have made that's a medley moment. Let her come on, do a thing. You had to actively try to not have Jennifer Samard be in the Death Becomes Her performance. And they did it.
Yeah.
And that didn't sit right with me. I couldn't get over it.
I mean, and I think that's a general consensus too, even amongst the gays, that
I couldn't get over
the representation didn't necessarily need to be there in that specific number, you know?
Insane. I was like, you wouldn't know Jennifer was there if she wasn't if they didn't pan to her during the nomination call out. Like,
literally.
I don't know what went on. I don't know if she didn't want to perform or whatever. But I that's all I thought about during the performance. I was like, okay, how are they tying Jennifer in? When is she coming in? And she didn't come in, so I couldn't even think about the performance.
Yeah. I mean, they're talented. We know that Megan Helty is talented. That was just not, once again, not encapsulating the show as a whole.
I feel like I need to go back. I saw Floyd Collins the other day.
Yes.
I feel like I need to go back and watch the performance again now that I've seen the whole show.
I think that was probably the best choice of number.
Yeah. What did they do the opening?
They did do the opening.
They did the opening. So they didn't have like the block, right?
I mean, when he's climbing all around?
Yeah, they didn't have that.
No.
They didn't have like the set.
Well, that's built into the stage, so I don't think.
Yeah, but they did like the opening number basically just with him, like.
They had like some climbable items, you know. And I think it still, with the ensemble stuff, it does literally tell the story, like it did encapsulate the whole thing. So I think that was probably the best choice.
It's like a fine performance.
Yes, I have also since seen Floyd Collins.
Yeah.
And let me, for the record, folks,
you didn't like it.
Did not enjoy that show. It was so depressing, and maybe that's just me in my current mental state. Who's to say? Not an enjoyable show for me.
I think I appreciated it for what it was.
Yeah,
it wasn't my favorite show. I think what I did come away with was like, look, y'all, don't hang me from the rafters. I was never on the Jeremy Jordan train.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think he's got the most beautiful voice. I love the videos of his 54 Below concerts. I just was never a stan.
Mm-hmm.
I am now. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like I was shook by how good he was. Honestly, we haven't got. This is such a chaotic. There's so many things I want to talk about.
I mean, yeah.
Honestly, I don't know why he wasn't a bigger contender for Best Actor. I think he should have won.
Well, no, I don't agree. I don't agree with the notion of that, but I do think
really
contender wise, yes.
I
maybe
think
he should have been
acting,
talked
storytelling,
about more.
voice. I think he is like a true. Well, he didn't dance. Double threat.
Yes.
And I think his. I don't think it's a great show in general, but I think his performance in this show was just astounding.
Yeah.
And I think that our two lead acting Tonys were given out to the wrong people. I'll say it right here.
Heard.
And I think that look, Jack Malone came in as a Brit, was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
We all love him. Olivier, all the things. He deserved that award. I will never say he didn't because I thought he was amazing. In any other year, Taylor Trench would have had that Tony.
Totally.
I thought Taylor Trench was absolutely incredible. Like his acting was, oh my God. It made me so sad when I was seeing the show and I was like, you're so good in this.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, you're so good in this and you didn't win and you've just, he's just like been a Broadway guy for so many years. He needs a Tony. We'll get him a Tony. He'll get a Tony.
We'll get him one.
We'll get him one. We will.
We'll get him one for Christmas.
Yeah.
So yeah. But in terms of Tony performance, good choice.
Solid.
Summed up the show. Good example. We got the yodels.
Yeah. Yeah, the yodels were crazy. I was
they
like,
really
there's
were.
so many there's so much yodeling. I'm very sad that I will not get the opportunity to see Real Women Have Curves before
I agree.
They close. They just announced their closing notice. I think they're closing like this week.
End of the month.
Next week.
I think it was the 28th or something.
So next week.
That can't be true. Oh my God.
Yes.
This year is fucking flying by, man.
And again, I say end of the month.
I really cannot believe how fast this year has gone. Oh my God. Gross.
I really liked their performance.
I thought it was
good. I don't know
nice.
that I know what the show's about.
It seems that what I gathered from that performance is that this girl is getting torn between the family sewing business and the other thing that she was supposed to do, which is being a reporter. Maybe it seems like she wants to be a reporter, but everyone wants her to be in the seamstress position. That is what I gathered. I have heard nothing but good things about the show. So
I've heard literally not a bad thing about it.
Yeah. So
maybe I'll try and find something affordable. Broadway's not really in the budget for me in the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
But I'll keep my eye out if I can find like a $30 ticket.
For sure.
But I thought it was a solid performance.
Yes, I agree.
And I'm glad that they got to perform because they weren't nominated for Best Musical.
Totally.
And you don't always get to.
No.
Yeah, I thought that I thought the Maybe Happy Ending performance was really cool. I don't know. It's another one of those things where people were kind of like, what is this show about?
Yes.
I think I kind of like that they were like, we're going to show you like a really cool thing that we do in our show.
I do like that they chose more of a niche kind of thing, like in terms of a Tony performance. I do think
it was niche. Like they're like, we're gonna have this moment with like full orchestra, really cool lighting thing. Like it's not gonna be like obsessed with the vocals and the singing and the skrelting and whatever. We're not gonna do that at the Tonys. I kind of just want them to do the opening number.
I either wanted them to do the opening number or like the road trip song. You know, I felt like either of those would have been better in terms of presenting the show. And I also think that the Firefly number is such like a technical marvel that when you're not in that space that is built for it, it isn't as grand and it doesn't sell it as much. Also,
although I don't know, I was with a bunch of people who didn't see that one either, and they were like, this is making me want to see it.
Interesting.
Like, this is a really cool.
This is
cool. This looks really cool.
Yeah.
And it looks, and I agree that I think the whole show is innovative. I think that performance made the show look very innovative.
Heard.
So I guess from a marketing standpoint, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was mad about it, but I also was like, well, if Michael Arden asked me, I probably would have told him to do something else.
Yeah, for sure.
But I wasn't like, oh my God, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And I liked that they had Helen perform.
Oh, 100%.
Because I think sometimes when you're not nommed, you usually are not going to perform.
Yes.
And I like that she got to go up there with him and perform a song.
I think that it seemed as though, especially with him and probably production, that they were very adamant about the fact that they were like, hey, y'all, here's what you missed out on.
Yeah.
You know, which is awesome.
Which I loved.
What do we got next?
Just in Time.
It was fine. It was fine. You know, I thought it was fun. I can't tell you what the show is about based on that. I mean, it is a biopic musical, so like, it is about this guy, and I think that is what we need to know.
It was kind of one of those things where I was like,
I think we got the spirit.
Does the show have
of
a plot?
Maybe?
Is it a storytelling show? Is it a concert show? I think that he's incredible, but the performance itself like didn't really.
It kind of just felt like Jonathan Groff singing a song, you know?
Yeah. And, well, did you notice when they announced it, they were like, and now Jonathan Groff performing as Bobby Darin. As opposed to them being like, and now a performance from the musical Just in Time. Like, the wording of it was really weird, where I caught it, and I was like, Jonathan Groff performing a song as Bobby Darin. Like, why would you say it like that?
I do know at the top of the show, in general, he is Jonathan Groff. He has like an opening monologue in which he is Jonathan Groff talking about the show, I believe. And then he says, and now I am Bobby Darin, and he does a little twirl, I think, and he is all of a sudden in character. I don't know if that's
like, what if you just do a little
that's
twirl?
True. He puts on a hat,
crazy.
or he takes off a hat. So I do believe that is in tune with the show. Weird thing for sure, but like overall, it did just kind of feel like I didn't get a whole bunch of who Bobby Darin is or what the character is.
Look, I think he is so attractive.
I think the fact
and
that
I was like, I will watch you do anything to the ends of the earth.
I do think it's wild that we did get to witness Jonathan Groff straddle Keanu Reeves at the Tony Awards. I did find it wild that Keanu Reeves was there to begin with, and then the fact that we got to witness that was lovely.
Yeah, but I gotta say, like, that number didn't draw me in. No. I wasn't like, oh, I gotta go see the show now.
Which is wild, because I have heard, once again, really phenomenal things about that show.
Great things.
However, that was not a performance that made me go, oh, let's go see the show now.
And it kind of was one of those things where I was like, where's Gracie Lawrence? Where's Erica Henningsen? Like, why didn't we get everyone in there?
Totally.
You know, like, that was my opinion.
Totally, I agree.
Dead Outlaw.
Oh.
What was their performance? I don't even remember the performance.
I was obsessed with this performance.
In a good way? Like, you liked it?
Probably in an ironic way, but in a good way for me, where they started off, it was a couple of fellas, it seemed as though in a resting position. What's his name? Yeah. What's the guy's name from Shucked?
Oh, Andrew Durand.
Andrew Durand. Andrew was like lying down with a cowboy hat on his knee, and he sang a little tiny solo, and then we got the full band on stage going, your mother's dead and your daughter's dead and you're dead and don't forget about your grandpa, they're dead. And I Loved it. I was obsessed with that.
I said it out loud. I see a world where you would enjoy that show.
I think I really would.
It's another one of those shows where I get it. I think it's a really hard show to like crystallize down to a 3-minute performance.
It just seems like it's weird enough where like
it's like
what are they gonna do?
Weird and folksy and like like it is like that is the show. That is literally that is the show. Like the band is on stage. They're all like it's like hokey and it feels like you're at like a barbecue holding a beer with your dad.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like the vibe they're going for, and that's what it is.
Totally.
I thought
I loved it. I'm excited to see it eventually.
I do think I think the issue this season that I've been hearing from both watching it with people and also like just seeing online discourse is like great performance. What the hell is the show about?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even begin to describe to you what the show's about. And it's hard because when tickets are like so stupidly expensive.
Yes.
Unless you're like weird and locked in the way that we are, where it's like I've heard of all these shows before I see the Tony performance.
Yes.
Like you're not going to spend money on a show unless you really like are drawn in.
Totally.
So it's like you got 4 minutes to draw me into your show. Otherwise, I'm not going to come see it.
Yeah.
So it's a tall order. I get it.
For sure.
Buena Vista.
Very beautiful performance. It was very fun. It was very energized, and it is something that made me want to see the show. You know?
Yeah. It was kind of one of those things where I was like enjoying it enough sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
But I was like, I bet you this is like 10 times more fun when you're in the room with them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was one of those things where I was like, I'm not getting up and dancing right now. But I bet you if I was in the theater watching you guys do this,
yes,
like surrounding me, like I would be having a fucking blast.
It definitely seems
so
like
that's why it kind of did draw me in.
It seems like an immersive kind of experience that would really, I mean, it would lend itself better in that space. But like that said, it still was really enjoyable, and I
think that's the kind of performance where I'm like, I still don't know what the show's about, but you pulled out enough of the other stops that I don't.
Yes.
I wasn't thinking that. I was like, oh, this looks so fun. Everyone is so good. Like I'm invested.
Agreed.
So they did that well. Pirates of Penzance.
This is one of those ones where I went to myself.
Did you see it?
Pirates?
Yeah.
No, I've heard certain things about it, but after watching that performance, I went, I unfortunately think that probably was their best bet.
My friend who saw it, one of the only people I know who has seen it, said that there was like another number that was like perfect for this kind of a performance.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't see the show. And so he was literally like, wait, why are they doing this number? This is so weird and random. There's like another one that's like perfect for this kind of a performance. So I don't know.
The performance
didn't really draw me in.
Yeah. The performance that was given seemed to be rather in line with what I have heard generally about the show.
Yeah.
You know, so it is what it is on that one. We got to see all of the people that are in it, which is nice.
Look, I am a huge fan of Frasier, so the fact that David Hyde Pierce is employed, I'm happy.
Never seen Frasier.
Oh, it's so good.
Is it a comedy?
Yeah, it's like a sitcom.
Okay.
One of those sitcoms from the 90s.
Gotcha.
Early 2000s. It's actually a spin-off of Cheers.
Also never seen Cheers.
I've never really watched Cheers either.
Okay.
Cheers was like a little bit before. I think Cheers was like end of the 80s, 90s.
Okay.
Frasier was like 90s and I think went into the 2000s.
Heard.
I think those are all of the new musical performances.
Okay.
Here's my thing. Here's the deal. Not to be basic. I unfortunately think outside of Audra, who is Hall of Fame, Best 20 Performances, up there, Hamilton showed up all of these performances, blew them out of the water. They were like, we are going to do, and they had the tallest order. Hamilton is like a 3-hour epic with just like nonstop music. It's all sung through. They're like, we're going to create a 4-minute concise medley that features all of our cast.
Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, what were we saying prior to the Tonys? We were like, why do we need a 10th annual? Yeah. Why do we need another Hamilton performance?
And it was like, I was like, yes, this is excellence. This is theatrical excellence.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why aren't the shows who are because Hamilton's not looking to make money. Hamilton makes money. They're not. That wasn't their moment to advertise. They don't need to advertise. Why aren't these shows who need to advertise like demanding that kind of excellence from a performance?
100%.
That's the word I call it. Just like excellence.
Yeah.
I'm not even a Hamilton stan, and I was like, it was incredible.
Literally, what did I text you on my way home? I was like, I fear. I fear I'm entering another Hamilton phase.
I was amazed. I was like, you wrote a clear and concise medley.
Mm-hmm.
It featured everyone. We met all of the character. Like, I'm sorry, Lynn.
Except for one.
Who?
Anthony Ramos.
The camera didn't pan to him, but he was in it.
I knew he was there, but he for a leading role didn't get too much camera time.
I was so thrilled by it. I thought it was so good. It was so special too that like
it was just it was such a good celebration.
Yes, the whole original cast was there.
Mm-hmm.
Like Oscar winner Ariana DeBose dancing in the ensemble.
Yeah.
I was obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yes, that's the thing about Lin.
Yeah.
Lin will always demand excellence in his work.
I was curious too. I was like, are we gonna feature Jonathan Groff? You know, like it's a very bold departure, but they got him in there, and it was like amazing, lovely.
Yes. Oh, so unfortunately, I think they had the best performance.
Yeah.
No, who had the best performance? Audra. Cynthia. I thought Cynthia was. That's my preferred host.
Mm-hmm.
She was like definitely there and like doing the thing. I don't care about host bits.
Totally.
I don't want the host to be present. I care more about the performances and the speeches. I want to hear way more from like the winners than from the host.
100%.
And I thought she did such a great job of like straddling that line of like, yeah, I'm gonna like make some dry jokes. She's got a really good wit. She humor.
Does. I just listened to a podcast with her the other day that isn't like a theater podcast. It's just a life podcast. Yeah. And as I was listening to her, I was like, she is so much more than everything else that we see in the mainstream media. Like there's so much to that woman. She truly is just a delight.
She's brilliant. I also think she's very British.
Yeah.
And so I think that's her humor, which doesn't always land with Americans because people are like, she's not funny. And I'm like, no, I think she's just like a very dry, witty sense of humor.
Totally.
That like she was able to show. I really appreciate that it didn't become like a Wicked marketing event.
Yeah.
I was a little afraid that that's what was going to happen.
I assumed they would play into it more.
I think she made like one joke at the top and then that was it. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
I thought that her and Sarah Bareilles' singing Annie during the memoriam, I was like
devastating, but
I was like,
so beautiful.
In the first note, I was like, this is a joke. They're singing Annie. And then like 20 seconds in, I was like, this is the most beautiful thing. I feel like their voices are the two most unlikely pair to sound as beautiful together as they do.
100%.
Like, I was like, your voices are gorgeous together.
That was such a nice tribute too. You know, it really did feel so right. And
it
like,
was perfect.
I mean, the whole time we were waiting for Gavin, you know, we really were. And the longer it went with him not being there, the more I was like, I'm going to sob even more.
I knew he was going to be last. Sarah broke down on stage.
The fact that it was Sarah singing it too, I was like, fuck.
I don't know how they met. Or, like, they were best friends. I'm like, in what world did Sarah Bareilles and Gavin Creel become best friends? But I love that.
Has it been a long time, or was it just Woods?
No, they were friends before.
Okay.
He was in Waitress with her.
Oh, that's true.
But, like, that's not even how they met. Because I know they were friends before they did Waitress.
I mean, it's a small enough world where...
It is such a small world.
Yeah, that was so...
It was really special.
That was so,
And then Cynthia was like, all right, end of the night, I'm just going to whip out some Dream Girls.
Literally.
And this parody song of it, and I'm telling you I'm not going. I'm just going to like casually outsing every single person on this stage tonight.
I can only imagine the Mad Libs that they had prepared for every possible outcome to stick it all into one concise thing. It was brilliant.
And she is just so good. Like, oh my God. I was like, you just outsang anyone of the night. And you were the host. Imagine being that powerful.
Totally.
So I thought she was a wonderful host. I hope she doesn't host again for a couple of years.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm always one to say
she's too booked and busy to be the host. I think. But I think she was. I like a host like her.
Totally.
She didn't try and like make the night about her. She was there when we wanted her. She went away when we didn't need her.
I would be okay if next year we got her and Ariana. I would be fine with that. But in terms of just
No.
Cynthia on her own, I agree.
I think if it was her and Ariana, it would become a wicked marketing campaign again.
I think that, I mean, based on what
need that.
based on what we saw, I think they could do it without doing that.
With her, they could. With both of them,
I think
come
so.
on.
I don't know. Anywho, yes, the opening number I thought was fun. It was witty. I didn't like all the backstage stuff.
That was their.
It felt a little
I
disconjointed.
think that was their sunset.
Heard.
Because that's what he does in the show. They
Yeah.
just didn't take it to the street. Honestly, look, they should have just leaned in. Have her walking down the street, come in the back.
Yeah.
Everyone would know exactly what you're doing.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, the opening number, kind of forgettable, but whatever.
And I could have done with a fewer amount of Oprah bits.
Wasn't there just one?
Well, she was in the beginning, and then they kept on bringing her up in the midst, and then they did the car thing, and
Yeah.
I was like, this is too much time. This is taking up too much time.
The car thing I thought was really funny. I think Oprah probably was like a major producer of the Tony Awards.
That's probably true.
Because I know she really invests in the arts.
Mhm.
So
Okay. Well,
thanks,
in which case,
Oprah. I mean, you know that they thought Audra was gonna win. That is why
yeah.
Oprah presented that award.
Yeah.
That's why. Because her and Audra had that. Did you see the video of like Oprah coming backstage at Gypsy, and her and Audra were like embracing and crying?
Oh, I didn't.
It was like a big thing on. It's on Audra's Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Oprah very much loved Gypsy, loves Audra. They thought it was gonna be like a real big moment.
Oh.
Audra, Oprah, I think is the only one of the whole night who like lightly referenced the Patty thing.
Oh, remind me what she said.
Where was it?
Oh,
There's a clip I gotta find.
She
in
was
a classy way,
yeah,
but she was just like, you
The-
know, like
the
there
most-
are voices everywhere.
the most Tony Award nominated performer, whatever.
I forget. She said something that was just like a very classy dig at
Yes.
like. There's been basically TLDR. She was like, "There's been shitty discourse in the past
Yes.
weeks, and we all know what I'm talking about."
Do
And then
we
paused.
know if Patty went?
I don't think so. No one.
I'd
no one
assume
talked.
she didn't.
No
but even if
one-
she did, there was no way she was
no
getting
one,
on camera.
Yeah, no one panned her. She did nothing. I thought out of the whole night, the only winner in my eyes, the real winner of the whole Tony Awards, was Cola Scola.
Oh my God.
First of all, Cola Scola dressing up as Bernadette Peters.
Incredible. Yeah.
Incredible. I literally, the first time I don't even know which shot it was. The first shot I saw of Cole, I was like, guys, I think they're cosplaying as Bernadette Peters.
Yeah.
And everyone's
yeah.
what are you talking about, you theater gay? And I was like, no. Look at that wig. They're dressing up as
The hair
Bernadette
alone.
Peters.
Yeah.
First of all, the red carpet interview where they were like, I thought this was classless. I did not like this. That reporter who was asking all the Broadway people being
God.
like, what did you think about the Patty article? I'm like, can you be a little classy, please? Like,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
That's not the place for that.
But Cole was just like, no, I don't read. It should be up for the states to decide. And I was like,
Which is crazy.
I was like, that's how you match a ridiculous question.
Yeah.
You give them a ridiculous non-answer. And I was like, yes, you went viral with a good answer.
Yeah.
You came out on top.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
I don't think there is anyone else on this planet. You know what? Let me retract that. There is only one other person on this planet that could get away with being that unserious.
Who?
Nathan Fielder.
Yeah, they're kind of a similar breed.
It's a very
Kind of a similar
two
breed.
different kinds of people, but the
Yeah.
same kind of persona where like you could get away with murder and just be like, I tripped. I don't
Even
know.
like Cole's speech was just like
So
from the
funny.
moment that they got up
Yeah.
and then they like barreled
Rushed
over
the
to
stage.
and they have that superhero that only select few people have, where like they have the ability to be absolutely unhinged and
Yeah.
absolutely genuine at the same exact time.
Truly.
Like I was like, yeah, you're saying unhinged shit, but also you're being so genuine, and I
Yeah.
can tell that this means the world to you.
Yeah.
And then did you see when they were in the I call it the antechamber. I don't know.
Yes.
Wherever you go after you win a Tony, you're in a
Mhm.
press room. And Cole was there with the Tony talking to the reporters. And Sam Pinkleton, who directed
Yes.
O'Mary, they both won. And they were in there talking while Nicole was announced as the winner. And Cole just goes, 4 more years.
And they go, oh, So I think Sam said, one of them said no.
Oh, I don't think anyone said no.
I think someone did. I'm pretty sure.
I think it was written on their faces.
I don't think it was like a no. I think it was like a no. Like no way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And Cole just goes, four more years.
I don't know what I meant by that. I don't know what that means.
I was like, you won the night. You
Yeah.
came, you scooped up your Tony, you said some iconic one-liners. I think Cole is really, really a special
Truly.
creator that we have.
A voice of the generation, for sure.
I can't wait to see what they do next.
Yeah. It was just announced today that they will be departing, and then Jinx Monsoon will be stepping into the role of Mary Todd Lincoln, which is another very exciting one for a lot of people.
Yeah, I wonder. I bet O'Mary's gonna just be like a long running, and they're probably gonna just
Was there not
shove people in.
was there not an end date on it in
Not
the
to
article?
my knowledge.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
Maybe there is.
Maybe I misread. Maybe it
I
was
don't
a
know.
date that someone's leaving. I don't know. Okay, so we kind of hit best play. We kind of hit leading actress.
Well, O'Mary didn't win best play.
Oh, I'm sorry. Best leading actor in play. I'm gonna state a gripe. First of all,
I don't know what this gripe is. Keep going.
the lack of respect for plays at the Tony Awards is crazy.
In what way?
The literal first announcement, I mean, the first award presented was leading actress in a play. And I was like, we are putting leading actress in a musical on such a pedestal this year. And they chose the very first award of the evening, which is always going to be the most forgettable to be given first. I was like, we're not even trying to hide this.
The order of the awards was crazy. They started with leading actress in a play. And then they dialed it back with a bunch of other awards. Not that those awards aren't important. But they were usually there's cohesion. There's like featured actor, featured actress, leading actor, leading actress, play, musical, play, musical. They were like, we're gonna start with leading actress of a play, then do a bunch of design awards, then do the other perform. Like it just, I was like, what are we doing? It must be so nice though to like be Sarah Snook, win the first Tony of the night, and then be like, oh, now I'm done.
Yeah,
and
not
then
have to worry.
I get to watch this rest of the night, see some performances, and then go party my face off.
I'm gonna go get a snack.
I'm so happy for Sarah Snook. That's probably my biggest regret of the season was not getting to see Dorian Gray, which I think has since closed.
It has.
I really regret that.
You know what? That's on me.
That is on me. I could have got my ass to rush.
That's on me because I won the lottery and then I didn't claim the tickets in time.
That is on you. We could have got
I'm sorry
to bring that up.
I'm sorry to bring that up, but I will take the blame on this.
Brennan
one.
won the lottery and didn't claim the tickets on time, so we lost the tickets.
Granted, you didn't get coverage for work, but I think you could have still gone anyways.
Yeah, I still would have made it my business to go, but I also should have just like rushed it. I should have made it my business.
That's whatever. On me. I'm gonna take the blame on that one.
Whatever. We all knew she was gonna win. She was the front runner.
Yes.
She's just. Oh, I love her so much. I'm a huge Succession stan. I think she's phenomenal. I think that whole cast is just racking up all of the awards with their various careers. We have like Kieran Culkin winning the Oscar. Jeremy Strong won the Tony last year. Like they're just the best of the best.
I'm gonna among this leading actress in a play situation, I'm gonna share some other gripes that I have with
please do
the Tony Awards.
Please do.
Number one, enough with the off-screen awarding. You know, like we are announcing all of these nominees ahead of time. We're all making our guesses. I want to see them receive their award. I would like to give them the opportunity to have a speech in front of all of their peers in the industry and be celebrated. Enough with the off-screen awards.
I hear what you're saying. I guess what's the solution though? Just to have like an hour longer award ceremony?
I think it would probably be like a half hour. I don't think it would be a whole hour long.
I think it would be a whole hour long. They award a lot of things off.
Well, then yes. Then I would say an hour longer. Because what we're doing in that is we're saying...
Because I think what they did this year was they had more performances than normal, which means that they had to have more off-screen awards than normal. I can appreciate the tightrope of like, you know, I can appreciate the hardness of whoever has to make that decision.
I just think it sets the precedent that these things are less important than everything else.
Oh, 100%.
You know, 100%. And
and like choreography was off screen.
Yeah. Costume design was off screen. All the design stuff, you know, like,
and it's
I think it's another one of those things where it's like,
but then it is like, what are they going to do? Have a 4-5 hour award show?
Yeah. Yes, if they're going to do it, if they're going to make awards in these categories, yes, that's what they're going to do. It always says, we always say it takes a village and that.
Yeah, but I also think they're just not going to get the views if you make it that long. No one's going to last to the end.
I don't care. This is a celebration of our industry.
So you're so not solution oriented.
I mean, I'm sure we could come up with a new solution, but
I know, that's what I'm saying. I know, but I'm also like, and like the fact that like Celia Keenan Bolger won the Lifetime Achievement Award off camera. Her speech was beautiful. Go watch it if you haven't. She's another one, best friends with Gavin Creel. She talks about him a lot. They were roommates for years and years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe no commercial breaks. I
think that's how they fund the Tony Awards.
Well, I'm sure Oprah could fork over a couple more dollars.
No, I don't know what the solution is, but it's.
And then, which
What's
leads
your other gripe?
My other gripe is people thinking they're more important than keeping things on schedule, aka going way over their speech time. This happened with what's his name in the Brutalist.
That bothers you?
It does.
Why does that bother you? Who did that at the Tony Awards?
I think two people did it where they started playing the music and then they kind of because they did this whole bit where Cynthia was like, "Please,"
Cynthia sang.
She was like, "Please just stick to the time. If not, I will sing you off." And then they played her little recording of her thing. But I'm just like, y'all, practice your speech, make it concise. There's a lot going on. I'm not going to say there isn't a lot going on and there's not a lot that we need to bring up. Do it within your time because we got to go on schedule. And like, so I will say it didn't happen with this, but sometimes when you're watching award shows on cable television or streaming services, if it is in a time, if it is like a set end time and it goes past that, then the next program starts and you don't see the end of it. It didn't happen this year, but it has happened in a previous year for me where I didn't get to watch who won Best Musical or whatever because people went over their times and things ran late.
I gotta say, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I love it. I actually kind of like it. Because that's like where you're watching the human aspect of it. Where like, like this person has just achieved, like, look, we're not in it for the awards, obviously, but like, like it's a dream. It's such a dream. You're watching this person in real time, like achieve like a lifelong, once in a lifetime dream.
Yes.
Or 6 times in a lifetime if you're Audra, or 7 when she plays her Little Night Music Revival. Yeah, so it's like, you're not gonna get up there and be poised and concise. Like,
you can be excited.
You're gonna like get up there and your mind is gonna go blank and you're just gonna start blabbering on.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? You reached like the pinnacle dream of anyone who's ever touched this industry, and you have to like condense everything that you want to say and everyone that you want to thank into 30 seconds. Like, that's crazy.
I think it's a minute. I think you get a full minute.
I don't know.
Regardless, I think that there's
I think it's like so special when you see someone like oh my god, 30 seconds, and they and then like you kind of get the divas. Remember when Bette Midler won and they started playing the music and she was like, "Oh, shut it off," and they stopped playing the music. Or like when Patty won for Gypsy, she was like, "Shut up that music! It's been 30 years since I won one of these." Like, oh, you just get someone like. You just get like someone's adrenaline.
I know.
And we get to watch that.
I just think that...
You're such a curmudgeon.
I'm not. I'm like, we got a schedule. Once again, we need to fit things in time, and I would love to see a world where we could fit more things in. So, do your job, be responsible and respectful, and stick to your time. I don't know. Everyone gets the same amount of time because everyone is being celebrated equally, or they should be. And that's my tea on that. Anyways...
Lame.
Let's go on to the other categories.
Like which ones?
Well, we've only talked about Best Leading Actress, Best Leading Actor, and Best...
Didn't we talk about Best Leading Actor? Oh, Cole, yes.
Yeah.
Best Revival was Sunset.
That was what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought Sunset would win Revival and Audra would win Actress.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought would happen, and that is what I thought should happen.
Yeah. I agree.
What I definitely was surprised by was the sheer amount of people who went on that stage. See, actually, I think that's why the Oprah bit lasted so long. I think she was vamping.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that was right after Sunset won, and there was like 70 people on the stage, and you could see they like panned to Cynthia, and Cynthia just like kept talking.
Yeah.
Because I think they were like, hey, we're waiting for these people to file off the fucking
I
stage.
literally, I'm like, if I was in that room, I could have just gotten up.
I was like,
I could have
what
just gotten
are
up
all
and gone
you
on
people
stage.
doing here? So yeah, I'm not mad about Sunset winning. I thought it was a very innovative revival with
I
great
agree.
direction.
It felt revived, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Best original score, also off stage, was Maybe Happy Ending, which I was very pleased with.
Yeah.
Not mad about.
Nope.
Best book, Maybe Happy Ending.
Mm-hmm.
They really came out like bandits this year.
Which, like, justifiably so.
I mean, the play ones, we didn't see the plays, but we can talk about them. Carrie Young won for Purpose.
This is her second consecutive one. Yeah.
This was her 4th consecutive nom, her second consecutive win. I got to see Carrie Young in something.
Yeah,
because apparently she's the greatest actress on Broadway. Incredible. That must be incredible. I mean, the only play I saw was John Proctor's The Villain, and I thought Fina Straza, who was also nominated, was absolutely phenomenal. She was the best. I mean, that was an incredible play, and she was like the highlight of the whole play for me. I would have loved to see her win, but she didn't. Best featured actor in a play was Francis Yu for Yellowface, which I didn't see.
Nope.
So I feel like that show kind of came and went pretty quickly.
I think it was a limited run,
Like,
so I
people-
think it really did.
It kind of
literally.
came. I don't even know about it. I don't know anything about it. We have Natalie Venetia Belcone for Buena Vista Social Club for Best Featured Actress in a Musical.
She was funny. That was a fun speech.
This was a tricky category because I didn't see 50% of them, so I don't really have an opinion.
Yeah.
But I kind of thought Joy Woods would take it. I really did. But she didn't.
No.
That's okay. Featured actor in a musical was obviously Jack Malone. I don't really know much about him personally, but I do follow him on Instagram, and he's so he has this this dog that this Italian greyhound that he's obsessed with that he brought to America. So he's just cuddles with his dog every day and posts about his dog all the time, and he has a wife, and yeah, I think he's a very pleasant person.
I will say I think it's really interesting because I feel like we are in an age where we're kind of enough with men playing women, we don't need that yada yada yada. And then in the context of the show, so many people are playing so many different people, to have a man playing a woman that is that featured and won him the Tony Award. He is just doing it so respectfully and genuinely and earnestly that nobody cares, which I think is really interesting.
I think there are a couple. I think in the conceit of the show itself, it's gender doesn't exist. Anyone's playing everything. I mean, the person playing Monty is a woman. And she's playing the lead male of
literally,
the cast all show, and it's not no one is playing the butt of it. The character isn't the butt of a joke. They're actually portraying these people in a real and grounded sense.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is what it is, and I do appreciate both our male winners this year, Jack Malone and Darren Criss, are very gendery in terms of just they're both straight men with wives, or I don't know if they're straight, but they are both in married to women.
Yes.
I think Darren has kids. I don't think Jack does. But Darren plays around with his fashion, was wearing nail polish all night at the Tony Awards. I saw a TikTok that was tracking his nail polish.
Oh my God.
And it was he wore nail polish on the red carpet before the show. Then I think he took it off for one of his outfits, and then he put it back on, and then he took it back off for the performance for Maybe a Happy Ending, and then he put it back on to accept the award.
That's wild.
And everyone was like, this man's commitment to his queer aesthetic is phenomenal.
I believe he's once used the term culturally queer, which I find fascinating. And I was I think that's the modern day quote unquote metrosexual kind of thing.
Culturally queer.
Which I'm it's interesting. And I mean, it feels right in that sense. When I think of Darren Criss and that kind of term, I'm okay, wait, no, that feels right. But I don't think I can quite encapsulate what it truly means.
It's an interesting concept. Culturally queer, because I think I understand what he means. In the way I would put him in that category. I would put someone like Harry Styles in that category. Yeah. I would put someone like Jack Malone in that category, where it's and again, I don't really know the intricacies of their specific sexualities, but people who are just men in a relationship with women.
Totally.
So that has its own thing. But you also are I don't know, playing around with gender norms, and I get frustrated when people are oh, Darren Chris is wearing nail polish, but he's straight. He's queer baiting us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I felt that we were like fighting for that.
Yes.
It's like, weren't we fighting for like anyone can do anything?
Yeah.
Like, it's actually really powerful when a straight man is wearing nail polish, because that means that like, you know, like all of us can do it, and that's how it becomes the norm, because it's not just like a gay person doing it. It's like, it doesn't matter if you're gay or straight.
Yeah.
And so that's why I really appreciate two very visible people who just like present how they want to.
Yeah.
Like, they're not bound by anything. They're like, clearly it's like Jack enjoys wearing makeup and wearing like flowy afghans.
Or
and, like,
Morgan Spector.
Yes.
Like, truly, like
Yes.
someone that can present as like the pinnacle of masculinity and that kind of thing, and is also just like the most worldly, flamboyant, you know?
Someone who's like so secure in their masculinity, they actually are like not afraid to be perceived as gay, whether they are or not.
Totally.
So that's something I appreciate about both Jack and Darren.
For sure.
I'll say it again. Best musical, maybe Happy Ending. We all knew.
Correct.
Not a surprise. I feel like this Tony Awards was unsurprising.
I think the only thing...
I think the only true nail-biter was Audra or Nicole.
And I think that was like... It felt big enough where it kind of made the whole thing seem like, oh yeah, like who knows what'll happen at the Tony Awards, you know?
Yeah.
But everything else was kind of... It made sense, and like it was a lot of what we expected, so... But yeah.
Best actor was Darren Criss for maybe Happy Ending, which I don't know. I was on board. I am on board. I thought he was delightful in maybe Happy Ending. If I was handing out that award personally, I think it would have gone to Jeremy Jordan. I don't know why. Maybe he just didn't campaign, because also like you have to campaign for your Tony.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing. Maybe he didn't campaign for it as hard, but I feel like he was not in the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like people were not talking about him. I feel like people were like, it's between Darren or Tom Francis. And then maybe that's also why I wasn't expecting very much when I went to see Floyd Collins, because I saw it after the Tonys, and like after there wasn't really a lot of buzz about Jeremy. Like, he got the nom, but no one was really talking about him. And I was like, wait, guys, he's giving like the best performance on Broadway right now. Like one of the best things I've ever seen. Why are we not like celebrating this man more? So I don't know. I think also maybe, I don't know if I'm making this up or not. I might be making this up. But I think he's kind of, maybe people have trouble taking him seriously.
I think he definitely...
In the way of like, you'd be hard pressed to be a Disney Channel star and get an Oscar nomination. Or I think a better example would be like, people talk about Angela Bassett. Like, in the way that like, Angela Bassett was nominated for Black Panther or the sequel, or I don't know. I've never seen them. And people are like, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're never going to win for a Marvel movie.
Well, that's the thing, is they're rarely even nominated, you know?
Yeah. I think Jeremy Jordan has kind of entered the zeitgeist of like teenage dream. You know what I mean? Like, he's like the teenage girl dreamboat of Broadway. So I do wonder if that kind of makes it a little difficult for people to be like, oh, he's a very serious actor who's like very good at his craft.
I completely agree. And I also think it's wild, because I think I would put him in the same sphere in that vein as Aaron Tveit. You know, like, I feel like they are kind of the quintessentials in that same kind of realm. However, it does seem like Aaron gets recognized a lot more than Jeremy like, as quote unquote a serious actor.
Yeah, it's like when you're the dreamboat, I think it's hard. Yeah. It's hard. And you don't have sympathy, because that just means that you're hot and talented. But like my friend who had seen Lloyd Collins before I did was talking to me about it, and he was like, Jeremy Jordan is one of the greats.
He is.
And I laughed at that. I was like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And he was like, I'm sorry, but he is. And then I saw it, and I was like, he kind of is, though.
He is.
Like, he really is. And for some reason, I didn't even take him seriously before I saw this. Yeah. Because I think it's hard to be taken seriously when you are just like... And I don't know how he got into that category just by being hot and belting high.
I just think it was Newsies. I think he kind of entered...
I think it was Newsies,
I think he entered the zeitgeist as a young actor playing a kid. Yeah. He was a young actor playing a kid, and I think he got a stigma for that.
And it was Disney.
But I also think it's the thing that we were talking about last week, where like it's hard to kind of perceive the age of people without also perceiving your own age, where it's like, this is a grown man, you know, like so
Yeah.
many years have passed since that. And like, he has also only grown as a performer. Like
Yeah.
we saw him in such a specific era of his voice as Jack Kelly, but like he is just such a great vocalist in general that like he just wasn't in the spotlight enough in other aspects for everyone to kind of know that. And it's because we didn't put him there, you know?
Yeah. Well, I was like, he is an actor. Like,
yeah.
watching Floyd Collins, I was like, you are a brilliant actor who also happens to just have one of the best instruments in the world.
Yeah.
And I think I also have heard, I mean, I don't know how true this is. I don't know the guy, but I've heard that he's also very, very picky about his projects.
Yeah.
So that is possibly also a reason why we don't get him on Broadway every day. I think he is going back to Great Gatsby. I also think, yeah.
Interesting.
I think also, like, I don't know, going from a show like Great Gatsby, it's going to be hard to get taken as a serious actor.
Okay.
When you do, like...
I didn't see it. I don't really know.
I didn't see it. I just know
the okay.
conversations. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's my thoughts on Jeremy Jordan.
Understood.
Yeah.
He truly is incredibly talented.
But
and
I unfortunately, or fortunately, am now a Jeremy Jordan stan.
Yeah. And
I've always liked him. I've always thought he's got a great voice. God bless.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know how he avoided the Fierro thing, though.
True. That's actually really befuddling.
I mean, he's kind of little. Maybe he was too short.
Norbert Leo Butz.
But I also see a world... Well, you have to be 5'11" or up.
Is Norbert Leo Butz 5'11"?
There's a chance, yeah.
I think that's something that started after him. I mean,
I bet if you're Jeremy Jordan, they're not going to be a stickler about the height requirement.
I think our Fierro standards have changed drastically to a very unprecedented level.
But I think he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I hate to be proven wrong, but I really was.
I 100% agree.
And you know what? I wish I got to see him as Dr. Palmater.
Yeah.
Who did he do? He did it with Shoshana Bean.
And I mean, his Seymour was also phenomenal. I've literally scoured the internet for bootlegs of that.
Yeah.
And that was also really surprising.
He's not just like a dreamboat.
No.
You know what I mean? Like like his thing is like being kind of quirky. I think I also judged him like when he took Seymour. I was like, another hot Seymour. But then like when you're watching him, you're not like, he's not just like this 6 foot tall, conventionally hot, muscular guy. Like he's kind of like short and quirky, and like he's got really good comedic timing.
Yeah,
he's really funny. I'll be the first to say it. I think Jeremy Jordan is good.
You know what?
I think he's going places.
That was really brave of you to say.
I know, right?
And I thank you for sharing that with me.
I know. And you know who I thought did not get their due, who I loved, was Jason Cote.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought he was great. And I forgot he was in it because no one is talking about him. No. And then he came on stage. I was like, oh my God, I forgot you're in this. The two of them singing together.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely
This
gorgeous.
is turning into a Floyd Collins podcast. We're probably going to do a spotlight of Floyd Collins
it's just
eventually.
That's the last show I saw.
Yeah.
And I also, one more thing about him is he's so nice.
Oh, yeah?
I auditioned for a show that he directed like years ago.
Oh, nice.
And I got to say, he is just a lovely, lovely, lovely person. Jason.
That rocks.
Yeah. So
yeah, very talented.
That's my own 2 cents.
I will say, just in terms of the commotion of award season and everything, nobody has been talking about Lizzie McAlpine. I completely forgot that she was in that show until the Tony's performances. And I feel like everyone's been talking about Gracie Lawrence being in Just in Time.
Yeah.
But like before all of this, if you were to ask me who is bigger, Lizzie McAlpine or Gracie Lawrence, I would have said Lizzie McAlpine, obviously.
I still don't know who Lizzie McAlpine is or why she's famous. So maybe that's maybe I'm more an indicative. I know who Gracie Lawrence is. I love Lawrence.
She's
never heard of Lizzie McAlpine until she was cast in Floyd Collins.
She is indie folk singer, but like kind of in the same market where it's like Lawrence isn't a household name as a band, you know? However, in the circles that it is a name, I would say Lizzie McAlpine is frequently just as known. I think especially in the theater community. I mean, but like it was just one of those weird cultural things where I was like, oh, it seemed like it was such a big deal last year at LC Fest when Lizzie McAlpine was there singing show tunes, you know? Like, I feel like that broke the internet.
Maybe she does, because I know the girl next to me was very upset that Lizzie McAlpine wasn't
Oh, my God. Okay.
And I was kind of like, I was like, oh, Girl, I Don't Know isn't in. I don't care. But she was like, the one reason I came to this show, and her mom were talking about it. Her mom was like, why don't you just DM her?
Oh my god!
And the girl was like, Mom, she's got like 1 million
That's
followers.
actually a great idea. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm at the show. I came for you. Can you go on, please?
Yeah, the mom was like, well, just DM her, say that you were really excited to see her and that you hope she gets better.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a sweet sentiment.
That is,
She'll
yeah.
never see it.
No.
It was fun. It was
That
another
is
moment
cute.
of like, just call Wicked up.
Yeah.
You want a job? Have you tried calling Wicked?
You know what? I'm gonna keep this as vague as possible. I was working at a desk in the Equity Building today, and some woman came up with her daughter and was like, does she need to be in the union to audition for the Christmas Carol? And I was like, where? And she was like, oh, I think it's it's here. And I was like, no, yes, but like there's 2 auditions happening. It's 2 complete seasons. I was like, it's this one and this one. And she was like, it was 2 separate states that I named. And she was like, oh, I thought it was in New York. And I was like, well, the audition is in this building. However, which theater is it happening at?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I don't know. They're doing a Christmas Carol, and we're wondering if they're seeing for the kid part. And I was like, well, I mean, right now I can tell you that this one chose not to see non-union in EMC today. She was like, oh, then it must be the other one because she's non-union. And I was like, that's not what that means. But I was like, she's trying for her daughter right now.
Send them to the room and be like, go talk to the monitor.
Yeah, and I'm literally like, I can't offer advice here, but I'm just like, all you need to do is ask me the right questions. Just like, you're so close. Just ask me the right questions, and I will give you whatever info I can.
Just call Wicked up.
Just call Wicked.
That's my favorite thing. Just call them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love it. Any other things we're missing here?
Actress in a leading role in a musical. I know we just discussed it, but we can go back to it. That was the surprise of the night.
It was. It was gooped. It was gagging.
I thought it was hysterical when the camera operator zoomed in on Jennifer Samard.
Incredible.
Because I think like when Nicole got called, Jennifer stood up to clap. Yeah. And I guess that's probably a really high pressure situation to be the camera operator in that scenario. And so I think they were like, oh, the woman who stood up.
Yeah.
And then I can only imagine the headpiece were like, what are you doing?
Incredible.
Like, cut to Nicole.
Oh my God. What an icon Jennifer was in that moment.
Jennifer, I think she wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
She knew it. She wrote like a stupid little sign that said that was rude.
Yep.
She was making funny faces. I think she was having a good time.
Another Cola Scola situation where I'm like, this is so unserious and I love it.
She showed up to the red carpet in a sleeper van.
No. What is a sleeper van?
Like
just an unmarked white van?
Yes.
That's so fucking
and it like
funny.
Opened up and she just got out of it. And it was like I think Jennifer was there to have a good time.
That's iconic.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I am invited to the Tony Awards, I want to show up in my 2005 Camry.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, you're not going to win.
Mm-hmm. Might as well have fun.
Might as well just have a good time.
You're going to be in the spotlight regardless.
It's
Might
like
as well
the
have
honor.
fun.
It is. It is such an honor to be nommed. I'm speaking as if I've ever been nommed. But like, it's, like you reach that, but also you're in a category where you're like, everyone's talking about these two.
Yeah.
One of them's going to win. I might as well just go out with a bang.
Totally. I'm in a show with someone else that is of equal status and got the Tony performance while I didn't.
Well, that's like, I just to back up to leading actor for a minute.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I really didn't see the show. Don't know if he was good or not. I assume he was. I'm glad that James Monroe Eichelhart got nominated.
Oh, yeah.
There was something a little... All of these gentlemen are
No, say gents. That was more quirky. I liked it.
All these gents, these dudes, are so talented.
Yeah.
But there was something... I think it's a systemic issue
100%
where I'm like saw the picture of the leading actor noms and I'm like, oh my God, all of these leading actors are just copy and paste white twinks.
Yeah.
And then we have somebody with like race diversity, body diversity. Like we have like, I really was like, saw the other noms and I was like, I'm sweating. This is so sad. These are our leading actors.
Yeah.
Who are leading all the shows right now.
And I'm like, when the noms came out, I was like, I didn't hear a single word about this show.
The show really came and went.
Truly, I heard not a blessed word. I didn't know anything about it.
Not a blessed word. I think that it's almost more impressive to get nommed for a show that would like lasted a month and closed months before the Tony Awards.
Yes.
I saw an interview with him where he was like, I didn't even set my alarm. I literally slept in that morning and then my phone's buzzing and I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, he wasn't expecting it. Mm-hmm. He didn't think it was gonna happen. So I'm very glad that he was in that conversation. Mm-hmm. Again, I didn't see the show, so I don't know about his performance. But I don't know. I didn't see anyone talk about the leading actor lineup, but I was kind of like, all right, we have 5 boys who look exactly the same, who all probably went to the Dear Evan Hansen open call. And one person who doesn't look like this norm. So that's my gripe.
I'm really curious about the show, if it was actually a flop or if it is just one of those things that is a mark of systemic racism where they were like, this is celebrating a well-known black artist.
The one person I know who saw the show, because I don't know anyone else who saw it, said that it was not great.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know.
Maybe they're just a racist as well.
I know.
Actually, let's call them out.
Maybe not.
Full legal name right now.
Yeah, sorry, Audra should have won.
Yeah, no one.
Yeah, I am gobsmacked that Audra didn't win. I think it's indicative that we don't care about storytelling on Broadway and that we only care about belting. Well, and that's the tea on that.
And I will say, all of like the TikToks afterwards of everyone at their viewing parties and the bars and stuff, like they were. It seemed like in that moment the world was kind of united in an Audra front after her performance, where I was like, oh, okay, wait, this may not be as divided as I think. It might be.
Everyone agrees that Audra. It almost makes me feel bad because I'm like, imagine winning the Tony Award for like the best performance, the leading part in a musical on Broadway, and the whole world is like, you shouldn't have won.
Yeah,
that was someone else's Tony. Give it back.
I did see a lot of stories that were Nicole, like cheering Nicole and proud of that, and like really suspected that she was gonna win. So I mean, I was surprised at the sheer amount that I saw.
I'm not mad at Nicole. Like Nicole didn't go up and steal the Tony. I thought Nicole gave a wonderful performance. But as someone who saw both shows twice, I also don't think you get an opinion unless you've seen both shows.
Oh yeah.
Like I've seen so many people speaking on it, and I'm like, well, when did you see Gypsy? And they're like, I never did. I'm like, oh. You don't get an opinion.
Yeah.
Or at least preface your opinion with saying, well, I didn't see one of them.
Totally.
Like when I talk about
we do all the time.
Like when I talk about the plays, I really try and preface it by saying, I didn't see a single one. I'm talking out of my ass here.
It's like, we've never seen one, but this name sounds cool.
Like I saw Sunset and I saw Gypsy both twice. Mm-hmm. I think that I have never in my life seen acting on a stage the way that Audra did. I think that it's best leading actress in a musical, not best leading belter in a musical.
Yeah.
And I also think that I think it goes into the wider conversation I've seen people have about like, I don't know. The last time that I saw Gypsy, I was like, okay, real talk here. There is maybe 6 measures in the 3-hour musical that I would have preferred a belt.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like 6 total measures. Does that disqualify her from like accolades because she didn't belt 6 measures? No.
I think we're all called actors, so maybe that should take more of a precedent.
Well, I also think it's a fine line conversation because when I saw Katrina Lenk in Company, I was like, you cast someone who couldn't sing the score, and what I think the difference is between her and Audra is that I think every single acting choice that Audra made, every single vocal choice that Audra made was supported by her acting.
Yes.
And I don't think that there was a single moment where I was like, you can't hit the note. I was like, your voice, your vocal choices are fully supported by your acting.
Totally.
And I think if you were any less of an actress, maybe I would have been disappointed by the voice thing. But I didn't miss it at all, not even one moment, because I think that you just had full command of the stage at every single moment of your performance.
100%.
Whereas when I saw Company, I was like, the choices aren't justified. You're singing this way because you can't hit the note.
Yeah.
And the production should have just lowered the key for you.
Yeah.
Which they did eventually. And so I think that's the difference. And I'm like, I don't know. I think that, and this is someone with a BFA.
Yeah.
Someone with a BFA in musical theater. I think we all have a little bit of BFA brain rot where it's like,
oh, yeah.
I don't know. Do you think Bernadette Peters would have gotten into a BFA program today? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Sondheim has famously been like, I write for actors who sing, not singers who act.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around how you could see. And I get that they're not nommed for the performances at the Tonys. If you could see Audra's full performance, if you could see that Rose's turn and tell me that she didn't full face deserve that Tony Award, like deserve just like everything.
Totally.
But also it's an award. It's not the end all be all. She's
Yeah.
a queen. She's got 6. She's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Ethel Merman didn't win for Gypsy. Bernadette Peters didn't win for Gypsy. Bernadette Peters lost to Tracy Turnblad for Gypsy. Winning a Tony isn't the end all be all. It's just a nice statue. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's tricky. And I also think that this brings out a stupid competitive thing in all of us. Because I don't even hate Nicole. I like Nicole. I thought she's brilliant. And she gave a great performance. Mm-hmm. She did vote for Trump. But allegedly.
She didn't not vote for Trump.
That's the thing. She didn't not vote for Trump. Yeah, so it's not like I'm a hater.
Yeah.
I just don't think she should have gotten the award.
Yeah.
But
literally.
What the hell do I know?
You know what? At the end of the day, if our audience has learned anything, it is that you need to petition to have us at the Tony Awards next year.
To be voters.
To be voters, we need to be on the red carpet as guests.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, I have watched that Audra Tony performance at least 10 times a day since the Tony Awards.
That doesn't surprise me. I know there was a pause there, but everyone that's listening went, yeah, Danny, we know.
Me on the treadmill, I watched it 3 times on a loop today alone. I literally phone propped up running, and I'm like, God. Anyone behind me can see what I'm watching. This is humiliating, but I can't stop.
Literally.
She gave a performance of a lifetime. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's one of the greats.
Yeah.
She's one of the greats. She always will be. I saw people asking on we'll leave this episode on a gay note.
Hey, can we make it a little gay? Can we make it a little gayer?
This was a red carpet interview question that I liked. Like, who would you put on the Broadway Mount Rushmore?
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And Cola Scola said, I don't read. I don't know.
Cole's like Mount Rut?
Definitely Kermit the Frog.
They're like my arms, my legs.
Side by side, though. Not full body, just side by side.
Just side by side. My wig, Kermit the Frog.
Oh my God.
John
Okay.
Wilkes Booth.
This is quite the extended episode.
I think I would put up. I'm only doing dames because I'm gay.
I mean, that's the right way to do it. You think we need 4 more men up there? Absolutely.
How many people are on the
4?
4?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wait, can you name the 4 that are currently there?
George Washington?
Yes.
Abraham Lincoln?
Yes.
This is Benjamin Franklin?
Interesting.
Do you know for a fact or no?
Yes, I know.
Oh, how do you know?
Because it's Mount Rushmore.
George Washington? Abraham Lincoln. I don't think it's Ben Franklin. Are they randos or are they obvious?
Yeah, no, they're just randos. They just said,
Rushmore.
Who should we put? Oh, maybe that guy that's working down the street.
Oh, God. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Let me see. Well, you tell me. Oh, it's George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln.
There we go.
It makes me think of that joke on Friends where Joey's like, Count Rushmore. He's like, who do you think carved all those names in the statue? I think mine would be Ethel Merman, Angela Lansbury, Audra McDonald.
Say it. I can see you wanting to say it. Say it.
I really, really want to say Donna Murphy. Mm-hmm. That would be my personal Mount Rushmore. But if we're going general, it would be Patty.
It would be Patty.
There's
no way to avoid it. That Bob would be up there in stone.
Yeah. I mean, her contributions to the American theater are just undeniable.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5th for Donna Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who.
I think we can fit 5.
I
We
think
can
so
just
too.
make them a little smaller.
I think someone said Donna Murphy on the red carpet, and I was like, yes,
Nice.
yes. Oh, Bernadette. Elaine Stritch.
I'm so sorry. Danny, we gotta wrap up this episode.
Okay. How do we end it? What do we say?
Folks, if there's any shows that you want to hear us talk about in particular, you can let us know by finding us over on the Patreon. That is patreon.com/BA to Broadway. Our principal tier Patreon members get to choose the shows that we talk about. So get on over there and let us know. And if you are a principal tier Patreon member, check your DMs because you will have received a message requesting.
What does it say?
It just says, hey, welcome to the Patreon.
Brennan asking you out on a date?
No, it's whenever they join, they get a message that says, hey, welcome to the Patreon. You get to choose a show. What do you want us to talk about? And there are many unread right now. But anywho, as always, you can find us on most social media platforms at BA to Broadway.
You can find me at DSauls.
And you can find me at Brennan Stefanik. And you can also find me starting on Sunday in season 3 of The Gilded Age on HBO.
Oh my God.
It's going to be Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 Central Time. So
Everyone come over for a watch party.
speaking of Audra, speaking of my coworker.
You and your coworkers, you, Donna, Carrie Coon,
Yep.
Audra McDonald,
Yeah, literally.
Christine Baranski. Text the group chat.
Now that's a Mount Rushmore. Jeez.
It's literally just the cast of the Gilded Age.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore.
So tune in, folks. And if you see me on the screen, take a picture, put it on your story, and I'll repost it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Edit crude things onto him.
Let me preface, I don't speak any lines in this show, but I'm around quite a bit. So if you see me, shout it out.
He's got a crazy sex scene at the end of the season.
I
guys.
wish, man. Listen, I don't care. I don't
We're
care
like-
if they need me to be silent during that.
We're like, do you see those 2 footmen going at it in the back? Oh
Wild.
my God.
And folks, until next week,
Bye.
From BA to Broadway is created, produced, and edited by Brennan Stefanik, music by Dylan Kaufman, and cover art by Jordan Vongsithi.